So 1921, this is when Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, burned down, destroyed, ruined a economy that could have touched the communities abroad in a mighty way, destroyed to rubbish, no more. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't think of any black entrepreneurs who own natural gas, their own oil field, their own trucking companies that transport this gas, their own banks. What economic system is in place to uplift the black community from a community perspective to a broad perspective? Now, the problem that I have with this is that there are a lot of successful black people out here. And that's an example of manifestation. But it's kind of like Langston Hughes' poem Harlem. The manifestation became a dream deferred once these people have reached a certain level of success. Now, I expressed this before, a lot of people, they go to Jewtown to go to the Jewish markets. They want that kosher food. They go to Amish town for the meat markets and the fresh livestock. You go to Little Italy for certain things of their culture. You go to Chinatown for things of their culture. But I'm confused because I want to know, where's your town? A lot of people get wealthy and move out of the urban communities instead of building them up. There was a time where gentrification was very prevalent throughout the land. And certain neighborhoods, if you wasn't of the same ethnicity or culture, you wouldn't be found in those neighborhoods. And those things are no more. But that doesn't give us a right to neglect the people that come from the same struggle we do. And like I said, you don't have to be black. You could be any ethnicity that come from the struggle. But I have a problem when people reach certain levels as a result of manifestation and then forget about the ones who are striving for the same results. Because those people are able to manifest to help others manifest as well. So let me give you some statistical facts. Let me give you just a few statistics. And then I'm going to, matter of fact, let me do this now. Let me help you understand what metaphysics is. You got 5 attributes of spirituality, which need to start being taught in most of the churches. One of the 5 attributes of spirituality is metaphysics. We're going to deal with that one. But the other 4 is science. Like I mentioned once before, science deals with the unadulterated facts and the facts alone. And please know that the facts can change over time. Then you have astrology. Astrology deals with the atmosphere around you and far beyond. It's your connection to the atmosphere around you. That's astrology. Then you have what is called etymology. Etymology deals with the origin of a word. When we use words outside of its proper context, those words have no power. When a word doesn't have no power, it's hard to make change manifest. Because people won't take you seriously. People that know better won't take you seriously. Then you have what is called biology. Biology deals with the cycle of life and how things come into existence. Why they operate, how they operate, and what makes them work. Biology. Biology deals with life, not just in the human form, but also it could be trees, plants, insects, animals. Biology deals with everything that is living and breathing. We have to understand these things if we're calling ourselves spiritual. Scripture tells us to increase in our understanding. It tells us to get knowledge and get wisdom, but above all things, get understanding. If we're calling ourselves spiritual people, we have to know those 5 attributes play a very important role. Now, metaphysics deals with manifestation, how we're able to speak and create our own realities. Let me give you a definition of metaphysics. Metaphysics is a major branch of philosophy. So once again, we're dealing with how we think. It concerns existence. It concerns existence and the nature of things that exist. So once again, I was just saying, we're talking about manifestation, speaking things into existence. And the nature of how these things exist. It says, apart from ontology, metaphysics concerns the nature of and the relations among the things that exist. The metaphysical idea that reality exists independently of one's mind and yet can be known is called realism. Now, let me help you understand that you had a philosopher by the name of Plato. Plato said the reality is in the mind, and anything we create from the mind is a figment of our imagination. So I use this analogy when I talk about this. I talk about the chair. See, the reality is not the chair itself. The reality is the spiritual existence in your mind that thought of a chair and thought of a way to make the chair. That's the reality. That's the part that's going to last a lifetime. You know, when people are long and gone and new people are here, that understanding, that spirit is going to pass on through the generations. That's a realism. That's a reality. But a figment of our imagination is our ability to create what's in the mind. That's called manifestation. So everything that we create from out the mind is only a figment. You know, it can pass away. It can't last forever. It'll break down, it'll dissipate, it'll disintegrate. Something is going to happen where it's not going to last. But the spirit that is in the mind is what lasts forever. From that spirit, we manifest. So I'm sure the person who thought of the chair, next thing he did was spoke the chair into existence. I'm going to build a chair. Nobody knew what a chair was. We have a story in the scripture talking about Noah, talking about a guy who was building a giant boat, which was called an ark, in a desert land where they didn't experience a lot of water. You know, they thought he was crazy. And first of all, how do you get the idea of how to build that? But the reality is, the realism is, it was built and lives were preserved because it was built. That's the reality of it. And we can use that example or that format or that blueprint to continue to build boats and arcs. Right now, thousands of years later. So when we're dealing with metaphysics, we're dealing with the philosophy of the way you think and the way you speak what you think and how you create your own reality, your realisms. So let me give you some statistics real quick. And some of you ought to feel ashamed of yourselves that get high on the hog, talk about when they were in the struggle, once I make it big, I'm gonna give back, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna build up my community, I'm gonna create infrastructure and jobs and resources for the people, I'm gonna change the dynamic of the way things are, and then they move straight to where it's nothing but a bunch of uppity rich people, and they forget all about where they come from. And then we sit back and blame a government for not doing what we can do for ourselves. Manifestation. So let me help you understand something. And I know this might rub some of you the wrong way, you know, but sometimes you got to get rubbed the wrong way to get waking up. So let me tell you how many black billionaires that is listed, because we don't know how many there really are, but we know how many is listed in the United States. Black billionaires. There are 7 black billionaires listed in the United States. Now watch this number right here, because this is going to trump the 7 billionaires in the United States. There are 960,000 black millionaires in the United States. Yet, I'm looking at a place like Black Wall Street that was destroyed in 1921. And here we are in 2021. And all of these successful black people can't come together and create a stimulus package for their people. They can't create a community for their people. They can't create jobs for their people. They can't create schools for their people. They can't look at the small business owners and see where they need a helping hand and give them a love offering to lift them up. They can't do nothing but showboat on how much money they spending and what kind of car they driving and buy my $200 tennis shoe and be broke, continue to be broke, but buy my $200 tennis shoe and continue to make me rich. Yet we wondering why we're not manifesting in the proper manner that we ought to be. So I want to encourage people today to wake up, like Spike Lee said on Do the Right Thing. Shout out to Spike Lee. You know, I want to encourage people to wake up and start to question yourselves and start asking yourself the things that I desire for myself and my people and my family. What am I doing to contribute to that? Not in a minute way, but in a major way. Because you got people out here with little to nothing that's doing all they can to see manifestation take place. You know, there's a scripture in the Bible, I forget what chapter and verse it comes from, but Jesus finds himself at a festival, which was called the Feast of Tabernacles. And he was sitting in the audience with his disciples, and they got bowls out by the guards that's watching the gates, and they're collecting offerings in these bowls. So everybody who has an abundance is putting in, large amounts, to be seen, thinking that, they're doing something good. They're doing something major. But then you have a woman, an old widowed woman. That's very important. She's by herself, trying to do it all by herself. Yet, she gives her last. She gives all she has. And Jesus says to his disciples, these people think they have given much, but this woman has done far greater, for she has given of all she has. So I'm looking at our successful Black entrepreneurs and our people out here that has made it to certain levels. You have organizations like our organization that we have. We're always looking for charitable donation and help. We got out here a month or so ago, and we took the little bit we have, and we fed the homeless. And we went down to a place called Tent City, where you wouldn't believe the community of people that's laying on the ground, laying under bridges by railroad tracks, dealing with the elements and the wildlife, while we live high on the hog and focus on what Bentley I'm gonna buy next. We went out there and we created a reality for those people. Because I'm sure those people was praying and they were working towards something to manifest for them. And guess what? God made it manifest for them. They got clothes and toiletries, hygiene products, face masks, and things like that from the little bit that we have. I challenge the viewers out there to do more. We've got a work to do. We can't let a thing like Black Wall Street and the Harlem Renaissance be dreams deferred, just pushed to the back burner and forgot about because I made it. They got to fend for themselves. The Jewish community don't think like that. They send all their kids to school. They make sure all their kids get jobs. When their kids reach a certain age, they get bar mitzvahs. At those bar mitzvahs, they give them a whole bunch of money. What are we doing? What are we doing to contribute to our own manifestation? There's another scripture in the book of Isaiah, and you can find it for yourself, whether you're a believer or not. Hopefully, if you're not a believer, I'm challenging you to go buy a Bible and start looking through it, because there's science in there that can help your life. There's metaphysics in there that can help your life. There's biology in there that can help your life. There's etymology in there that can help your life. And there's definitely astrology in there that can help your life. So I challenge you to read these things for yourself. There's a scripture in Isaiah where the rich man, key word, the rich man, and this could be a man or a woman, the rich man said, if I have so much and I have nowhere else to store anything, what am I to do? Jesus told him to give everything you have away to the poor, the people who don't have nothing. Give all that stuff away because you are a rich man. You can get it right back again if you operate in wisdom. The man took that for a joke. He said, ain't no way in hell I'm going to do that. And Jesus said to him, and this day your soul is required of you in hell. So sometimes we choose our own destinations by our own greed. What greater love is a brother that lays down his life for another? There is no greater love. We are here to be charitable and help somebody else rise above the struggle. Get out of the rut that they're in. Try to help them to see the light through the dark cloud so that their children and their children's children can manifest greatness. And manifestation will continue. But if we continue to allow ourselves to be plagued by self-centeredness and greed and envy and jealousy and look at me and look at you, look what I'm doing and look what you're not doing, and mine's is better than yours, when at the end of the day, if you're not helping your people, you're not doing nothing. You don't have nothing. When this pandemic kicked off, everybody was running to the stores buying up all the toilet paper. And I asked, what black entrepreneur owns a toilet paper manufacturer? You mean to tell me if someone decides to stop producing Lysol, you won't have it anymore? If someone decides to stop producing toilet paper, you won't have it anymore. We have to take the time out to think about these things and begin to manifest new realities. We have to help one another, and for us as an individual effort, I want to say anything that you set your mind to, work toward it. Work toward it. Meditate on it. Never let it escape your mind. Keep moving in the direction of your goals and your dreams. Put the effort forward. And you will begin to manifest your own reality. Those things will begin to happen for you. May not happen the way you expect them to happen, but they will happen. Manifest. I challenge all my people out there who are coming from the struggle, who feel like there's no hope, who feel like they have to be subject to organized oppression and abuse of power and all this autocratic leadership, not enough servant leaders or alpha leaders out here, or democratic leaders out here. There's all this autocratic dictatorship, do it this way, and don't worry about why it needs to be done that way. Manifest your own reality. Work toward it. Surround yourself with the people who have your best interests at heart. Stop glorifying and uplifting these people who ain't doing nothing for you just because they became wealthy and they were from your neighborhood. I always say, what a person eat don't make me go to the bathroom unless they sharing what's on their plate. Manifest. Manifest. And I leave you with these words: abracadabra, and it shall come to pass. Peace.
They say this mountain can't be moved. They say these chains will never break. But they don't know you like we do. There is power in your name. We've heard that there is no way through. We've heard the tide will never change, no. They haven't seen what you can do. There is power